What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Daly, joined here by Jordan Schweitzer. I said that right. Hope so. Of Phoenix Rising Sun, Phoenix Rising FC, one of the hottest teams in the USL right now. And Jordan, just thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, no problem. So, grew up in Washington. Big soccer player, playing high school soccer. I mean, you chose the University of Denver. Like, you had a lot of offers. What made you choose Denver over other schools?
Yeah, it was a place that I felt at home, away from home, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. I was fortunate to understand that when I was going off to school, it wasn't just going to be soccer all the time, right? There's going to be the educational aspect of it, uh, and also the lifestyle outside of it. And for me, Colorado in general was a place that I liked. It was a sunnier Washington, same kind of people, not as much rain, and I just really liked what the program and the staff had in mind for the team, and to be a part of growing a program rather than joining something that had maybe already been very established in the soccer world. So, yeah, I just really wanted to focus on finding a place that I enjoyed playing soccer at. They had the studies that I wanted to do, and I liked my life outside of it. And for me, Colorado and the University of Denver had all those things.
yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming the altitude must have been, a tough transition at first. So, I'm watching a YouTuber right now. He's moving there to run or whatever, become like a pro, like, track athlete. Like, I mean, how did you deal with that
Yeah,
altitude?
I didn't do well with it,
Yeah,
honestly. The first time I got there, I went on a run. I felt like my lungs were on fire. And then over the next week, I actually got altitude sickness, which
jeez.
it feels like the flu almost, where your body's just trying to adapt to the altitude. I came from Seattle, which is sea level. And
Yeah,
so to go from that to a mile high, it took a little bit of getting used to. But I'll tell you what, it was really nice playing games at home when other teams would fly in and they would maybe not feel as good as we did. So
yeah.
you get used to it. Now I'm dealing with the Arizona heat. It's like 100
Mm,
some degrees out now.
yeah,
So
and
every place has their things.
that's why I'm convinced the Monarchs won last year. That altitude really, put in the playoffs. I mean, I'm not even joking around though. Like, that's a serious thing
No,
too. Yeah. That's crazy, and you got sick. I
no,
mean, that's crazy.
you're onto something.
Yeah. You go to University of Denver, play phenomenal there, making 70 appearances in 73 games that you could have. I mean, starting in 70. Excuse me. And for NCAA tournaments. I mean, how was your career at Denver? And like, how did you like it there?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I loved it. I spent 4 years there, and I grew as a soccer player, and more importantly, as a person. I was able to kind of build passions outside of the game. I was able to learn on and off the field, meet some of the best friends that I have still to this day at school,
Yeah.
and get to enjoy that experience. So, no, it was incredible. I tell a lot of people, I probably wouldn't be a pro if not for college soccer and having that time to develop those 4 years to grow as a player and as a person. So I'm a huge fan of college soccer and what it allowed me to do. And in being able to do that at Denver was a joy.
Yeah, and while at Denver, you're playing with the Seattle Sounders U23. Kind of a hometown club for you too. I mean, what describe your like summers in the PDL now USO League Two playing with the U23s?
Yeah, PDL is an interesting league. It's changed a little bit, but essentially it's a summer league for majority of college kids that are looking to continue to get games and stay sharp and hopefully develop uh, in that little bit of an off time. And like you said, for me, it was great. I got to go home and see family and got to spend time with them. I got to stay fit. I got to play with some of the friends that I grew up playing academy soccer with and checking in with them. And I had a blast being able to do that. And it allowed me to stay connected with the Sounders organization that I grew up playing with as an academy kid, too. And so there were some benefits there in being able to train with the reserve or the first team and to continue to kind of be seen in that world as well from a professional standpoint. So I love being able to come back and you played with guys from all over the place, different universities, get to meet them, guys that have gone on to have great careers, and again, some great friends. It's the thing about soccer, right, or sport in general, it allows you to connect, just like we're doing now, right, with some pretty incredible people. So I loved Summer League. I think the thing that was also great about it is it was a really wide range of ages as well. You had some younger players, you had a lot of older players, and so you were able to learn from different players. And there was a player who had a pretty phenomenal career, Joey Jertson, and he's a Seattle guy. And I was just able to pick his brain on life as a pro and his experience and his journey. And he was massive in giving me some perspective on what making it to the next level looked like. And that was definitely something that I took away from one of those summers as well. So being able to go back home over the summer, play, I would work, I would coach, doing Sounders summer camps, coaching kids from 5 years old up to 14, 15 years old. So mostly during the day I would work, and then I would drive straight to practice. I'd go to practice. I'd probably get up around 6 in the morning and be home by like 9, 10 p.m. at night and do it again for 3 months. It was, it wasn't glamorous, but it was a pretty incredible experience.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a local MPSL club, so kind of the same, thing, different league. And it's funny you say, these professionals, because the assistant coach is a professional at the team, but it's like all, you can't pay the guys because they're college kids. And then they're facing teams. I mean, the Cosmos are in it, or used to be in it, should I say. Miami FC, who you'll play against, eventually when this all clears up, maybe. They were in it. I mean, there's professionals against college kids. It's crazy. But, so you mentioned these academy playing there with the Sounders. You sign your homegrown contract. You're waived, and then you sign a contract with Sounders FC too. I mean, describe your thought process from getting waived to, signing. Was it all at once? Like, how did it all happen?
Yeah, no, it was a very humbling experience. I came out of the university system and had an opportunity to go back to Seattle, which I was excited about, to go back again and where I grew up, where I have family. And when I was an academy player, that was always the goal, was to play for the first team, to be an MLS guy. And I had that opportunity. I learned very quickly some of the challenges of being a pro athlete. I was hurt very quickly. I had to get back and try to get healthy. I got hurt again, and I was cut on the same day. It all happened really quickly, and wasn't necessarily the most fun, but it taught me a lot of what pro soccer could be like. Unfortunately, it's a business in some ways. Like, I'm very fortunate that someone's crazy enough to pay me to kick a soccer ball. I still feel that way. But having an opportunity to learn as a rookie some of the ups and downs and have those challenges in my first season while being at home and being able to be around loved ones and get perspective of what life on and off the field looked like was very beneficial for me. I wouldn't necessarily want to go through it again, but I definitely learned a lot from the experience. And a lot of people want to be a pro. Like, I always dreamed of growing up and being a pro athlete and getting to play soccer every day. And I recognized that when I got cut from the first team and signed for the second team, at the end of the day, honestly, I was at that age and where I was at, I was probably going to be playing with the second team for the most part anyway. That's where I was going to get opportunity to grow as a player and to get lots of games. And so it didn't necessarily change the path at which I was developing. I was still getting the chance to play games, which is great. And I had some pretty incredible experiences in that first season and being able to play in front of friends and family. And so that's definitely something that I look back on as a really important year as a pro, and also a pretty cool experience to be able to do that in front of family and friends.
Yeah, and it's funny because, you make your pro debut against a team you'll play for eventually in the Switchbacks. So, I mean, in your head, what are you thinking as you step out onto that pitch finally as a professional after all the stuff you went through that you just mentioned?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's something I haven't thought about in a really long time. I feel old now talking with you. It was a fun experience. I'd gone through about 2.5 months of dealing with injuries, and had finally gotten fit and being able to come on. And the game we had already, I want to think too, I think we won the game. And
yeah, 1-0.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got the facts.
Yeah, I got it up. Yeah.
And and no, I just remember coming on and just really enjoying the fact that I had. At the end of the day, I had gotten a professional game in, and that's something that I strived to do as a kid, and that was one of my goals. And so it was kind of like step one accomplished, and how could I continue this and get to enjoy this experience a little bit more? But to be able to do that in front of family and friends, like I said, I think that was the coolest thing. Because some people aren't fortunate enough to be around family when they get to make their debut. And they were there with me from the very beginning. So to be able to share that moment with them, that was what was most special.
Yeah, and I mean, it's cool because you're doing that in an environment you're familiar with. I mean, against, Colorado where you played college. So, I mean, what's the biggest misconception, though, about being a professional? Because, you mentioned some tough times. So, what's the biggest misconception?
You're getting some good questions in here. The biggest, though, what's the biggest? I guess kind of that. The biggest misconception is probably that it's all, like, joyful. Like, it's always easy. It's so fun because we're pros and we get to play a game for a living. I think the misconception is that, like, at the end of the day, it's still a job and it's a business. And at the end of the day, you're judged on whether or not you're performing and winning games. And I think that's known, but it's kind of this misconception of, like, if you are having a tough time with it, or maybe things aren't going well, like, you should still be really happy, right? Like, you're getting to play a pro sport. Like, why are you sad? And it's like, well, maybe there's other things that are happening, or maybe this is just a difficult time, or I'm not enjoying the environment that I'm in, or we've just lost another game. Like, that doesn't feel good. And so I think the misconception is that, like, it's always really, really fun. I'm thinking now, I don't know everything. I'll be really honest with you. I know very little. As I get older, I feel like I learn that I know less and less each year, to be, like, really true. But it's that it's okay. One, it's okay to not always be, like, super thrilled with what's going on. And two, that there's no such thing as a perfect job. There are always going to be challenges, but those challenges are where you can learn and grow and develop as a person. And so I think that's the misconception, though, is that we're always like, this is the best job ever. I'll be honest, it's one of the best jobs for sure. But it's not always like Ferraris and, flying on airplanes, private jets.
Yeah, because it's funny you say that, because, I mean, you might have played against him. I watched Become an Elite, which is Matt Sheldon. He documents, the whole pro lifestyle, and he shows, the actual lifestyle. He's like less than 1% become, Cristiano Ronaldo, making $500,000 in Instagram posts. It's not that easy. You gotta be, very great. You gotta be great, and you also gotta be very lucky, to get that and stuff. All the stars gotta align. So.
Absolutely.
You go to Orlando City B after your time with the Sounders, and just a question off the top of my head now, was Anthony Poulos your coach?
He was, yes.
Yeah, because I interviewed Anthony maybe two or 3 weeks ago. He's a good guy, so, and his dad is, I mean, a lot of people know who's
I went from coast to coast, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the things where I always say to people, when I'm done with soccer, it's going to be the people that I've met, like yourself. It's the places that I've gone, right, and getting to travel around the country, to live in different spots, even from Colorado, Seattle, Orlando, now I'm in Arizona, and also the experiences that I've had. Those are the things that I'm going to look back on and really enjoy. And being able to up and move from a place I was really comfortable at, around family, and again, go chase the opportunity to be around an MLS organization and to try something new. It was really important to me to do that as a young pro. It taught me a lot of lessons. Again, I had to kind of uproot myself and figure a lot of things out. And I was thrown into an environment in Orlando where getting to work with Ant was incredible. Very tactical, helped me with some of the aspects of my game as far as maturing and understanding like my role, my position, and how important it was to kind of be disciplined in that, learning how to deal with the humidity. That was incredible. I got to experience my first tornado, or hurricane rather, and got to do that. Just be in a completely different environment and get to see some places on the East Coast that I hadn't necessarily seen. I think the biggest takeaway for me in Orlando was that the grass isn't always greener somewhere else. It's just a different shade of green. When I had left Seattle, I was very much thinking, okay, Seattle, it doesn't look as though maybe we're on the same page as what we're looking for, and that's okay. It's the business side of things. And, maybe I need to go find a different MLS team that I could maybe fit in with better or feel at home with. Again, and that could have just been me being young and not recognizing that by going to a different organization, there are going to be some things that are better. There are going to be some things that are about the same, and there are going to be other things that you might like what was done in the other place more. There's no perfect scenario, and I think that's the biggest takeaway from Orlando was that the grass isn't always greener. But again, being able to take learning lessons from every environment that you're in at whatever age, I think is really important. And so I had a blast being able to step out of a comfort zone in Seattle and kind of challenge myself and moving to a completely different place.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because, USL, it's like West Coast plays West Coast. You're not traveling all over the country, so, all of a sudden you're experiencing this whole different lifestyle, and I can definitely say, I mean, I've been to the West Coast, like, once, and it's completely different in, like, California than it is here in, New York and Jersey and everything. So, I mean, overall, you play a season with Orlando and then go to the Colorado Switchbacks. Life comes full circle. That's a team you made your debut against. Played college right around there.
Mm-hmm.
For you, personally, I mean, how was it to come back to Colorado to play, some soccer again?
Colorado, especially that third season, was exactly what I needed. I'd been with two USL, MLS 2 teams. I'd been around that environment, and I was very much looking forward to being on a team that was more independent, that wasn't as directly connected to an MLS team, so that I could feel like I was on a team that was consistently had the same players, everyone was on the same page. The two teams are great. Sometimes, though, there's MLS guys who are coming down, there's academy kids coming up. There's this really big mixture of players, and even I'm sure coaches that I've had. Oh, one more time?
Sorry, but that's exactly, because I was thinking of that and I forgot where it is. I was trying to, but that's what Anthony said. He said one of the reasons he loved Orlando, don't get me wrong, he played there too, but one of the reasons he left was because he went to St. Louis, and he said in Orlando, I mean, it was hard to be a coach because he said there was 10 to 12 guys like you, kind of with the second squad, and then it's either young kids coming up to get minutes in a pro game or guys coming down from injury pretty much. So, it's a very unstable team in a sense.
And Ant and I had not huge conversations, but small conversations about that exact topic. And I felt for him. I could imagine that was really difficult. There were times at training I can distinctly remember, he kind of had this plan, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, you're getting 3 more players. Or we're stealing 3 players from you because they need to be with the first team. And he was like, okay, there goes my plan for the day. And it was, like you said, it's got to be difficult for a coach. Sometimes having to play players that might... sorry. Someone's calling me.
It's all good.
Let's end that.
No worries.
Yeah. Nothing like when your brother calls you and you're trying to have a fun conversation. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. I can imagine it's really difficult. And so, in a similar way as a player, I also was really excited to be around a team that was independent, that I could just know this is exactly who we have, this is exactly what we need to do. There was a little bit more consistency to it, and freedom within that as a player. I was just really looking for consistent, as long as I performed well, consistent games. And for me, being able to do that in a place like Colorado, a place that I felt comfortable in, and on top of that, I got to play with some of my best friends from school, which never happens in the pro game. Never. I ended up playing with. There was 4 guys that I played at school with, who ended up. We ended up playing together in Colorado, and that still to this day, that first season in Colorado Springs was my favorite season. I just got to get back to enjoying the game, playing it, not necessarily having to get too caught up with guys coming down or up. It was stable, and I was really happy at where I was at. So yeah, it's a long-winded way to say it was exactly what I needed at the time as a player and as a person.
Yeah, and it's funny because probably a few years, probably 2016, about the time you're in Orlando, Colorado Switchbacks, excuse me, they followed me on Instagram, and I'm like some, fifth grader, some like just about to go into middle school. I'm like, let's go, a soccer team followed me, but turns out, it was pretty funny because I've always been not like a fan, but like I've always been like, all right, they better win this game now because they followed me on Instagram. They unfollowed, but I think it was they were trying to get me to follow them, and then right as I followed them, they unfollowed. Nah, but honestly, that was a pretty fun, pretty cool time. So, anyways, you have a great season in Colorado, and then you go have the best Christmas present, probably, maybe of all time, because on December 24th, about, you signed with the Phoenix Rising. So, you're now in Phoenix, but, COVID has kind of shortened your season. Coming back, so how's the team really preparing for a comeback right now in this World Cup type style USL Championship tournament?
Yeah, it's a great question. We were just cleared on Wednesday for full team training. This is the first time that we've been able to do that since March. So for us, it's been interesting. We've had small groups and different things that we can work within. But yeah, we've only had 2 training sessions, Thursday technically, and today we were able to do full contact, full go, everybody there, and it was fun. I actually felt like a soccer player for the first time in a long time, being able to do that and compete that way. It's We did a lot of work even during the quarantine. We had team workouts that we were able to do inside of our house. We were getting on for tactic calls, going over games. We were trying to do as much as we could with knowing that we didn't exactly know when we were coming back. Now it's so much easier to prepare, knowing that we have a start date, knowing that we're in brackets, knowing that we have 16 games total, and here's what playoffs should look like. And we also understand, like, this year's been a little bit different, so we have to be somewhat flexible. But we now have that start date. We know what's happening, so we're able to prepare much more efficiently, and also mentally, we have that start date in our heads. So it's been nice to get back. We should be, doing some scrimmages with our teams, doing some inter squad stuff here, and really just trying to get quickly prepared for the games starting July 11th, sometime in that week. So we're it's been, like you said, it's been a unique year, but we're trying to do as best as we can. We understand that all these teams are in the same boat. And we're looking forward to getting back out there.
Yeah, and I feel bad, for you personally, because the Phoenix Rising $1 beer nights will forever, be famous, or it's legendary. I mean, ESPN was covering it. I mean, they cover the USL, like ESPN Plus, and but I mean, they were like putting it on Sports Center and everything. So I mean, that was pretty cool. And then but the best Phoenix moment to me was when, I don't know if you ever seen Drogba took the free corner kick, and it was like, what's in the water or whatever. So that was actually really funny. So yeah. So I mean, off the field. Yeah, you could go on.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was just it's great that you have those memories. I one of the things about coming to Phoenix was being able to play in front of this incredible crowd, and obviously that changes a little bit this year, but we did get that one moment at the first game of the year and being able to play in front of the crowd here against Portland. And we know we're well supported here, so fans, no fans, whatever it looks like, we'll get some wins this year.
Yeah, and off the field, you're doing some great things as well right now. Co-founder of Bootbags, So if you want to, talk about Bootbags, maybe brag about it a bit, tell the audience what it's about.
I definitely won't brag about it. I'll say it's been a really cool project to start with a friend of mine, Shane Malcolm, who I played with in Colorado. And he's an incredible person. He came up with this unique idea of taking a product that's already out there. In soccer, we have boot bags, Nike or Adidas zip nylon bags where you can carry your cleats. And he said, hey, let's do it a little bit differently. So at the end of the day, created a washable product. Parents love that. So those smelly cleats can stay in there. Muddy cleats, turf, all of it stays inside the bag. And they come in different colors. We wanted to make it somewhat fun. Most bags are black. And kind of, for us in soccer, your cleats are, at the end of the day, the only equipment that you can see that you have control over, right? Like, no one's seeing the shin guards, but the jersey, the shorts, and the socks, that's team issued, right? So for us, cleats are the one thing that you can kind of use as an expression of yourself as a player. And we wanted to kind of create a bag that allowed people to do that same thing and express their love for the game with this bag. And for us, the thing that we love most is being able to give back through it. And so for every 5 bags that we sell, we donate a pair of cleats. And we were just in Jamaica in January of this year and able to donate 80 pairs of boots to some kids who might not otherwise have had the opportunity. And so for me, that's the biggest part. We love the product, but at the end of the day, we love the mission and the heart that's behind it more than anything.
And that's, very inspiring, just amazing that you're doing that. And the bags, too, I mean, first off, it's great that you're doing that. And then the bags actually look really nice. So I was just looking at the website. I was like, this is like designer bags, for soccer, though. So, and then you're also a product tester, I read, for Nike. So, I mean, and you're getting Nike soccer cleats. So, what's it like being a product tester? You've also done this for Adidas. What's it like?
Yeah, I was able to, through connections at school, at Denver, we were at Adidas school. And so they were able to send us some cleats that, and Adidas and Nike are very similar in the way that they'll send these cleats to you and you just wear them and essentially tell them your thoughts on them. And it's very simple. And it's fun to be able to test out some of these cleats that, might come out later, might not. Sometimes you know what they are, sometimes you don't. And for me, like, even right now, I've got a pair of Nike tester boots. And it's nice to be able to do that. At the end of the day, all I have to do is kind of give some feedback, schedule times with a really great contact there at Nike who does a good job of keeping in touch and asking my thoughts on them. And I'll be honest, I primarily wear Adidas cleats. I have from a very young age. The pair of Nike cleats that I'm testing for them right now, fortunate enough to test for them, I might have to get myself a pair of these if they end up coming out because I really enjoy them. But I'll tell you what, all black tester cleats in 100 degrees in Arizona might not be the most cool cleats that you can wear from a heat standpoint. But no, it's definitely a fun little experience being able to do that.
Yeah, and that squashed what I was going to say because I was like, oh, well, worst comes to worst, you have an extra, pair of cleats. But so do you send them back? If what happens? So you have to.
Yeah, so normally there's a period of time that you're able to wear them for, and I don't know when I have to send these ones back. Hopefully they don't see this video and ask for them back after this. But no, normally it's a period of time, and they're hoping for you to get a certain number of hours in wearing them, so that they can test to make sure that they're holding up, and that you have enough time to test them to give honest feedback. So generally, you have them for a little bit of time. I think maybe the reason I've held on to these a little bit longer is that for so long we weren't able to do much, right, as far as training goes. So maybe they're giving me a little bit extra time, and hopefully I get a game or two in them maybe. But no, it's just it's a bonus being able to do something like that, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all I have except I can just pop up a few rapid fire questions if you just want to do that. And
let's do that.
It's fun to do. So let me just get it right here. Okay. So here we go.
Yeah, no worries. I got a question for you at the end of this too. I'm really interested in.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so if you were not a professional athlete, what would you be?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. Maybe that's why I'm still playing pro sports. No, I don't know. Maybe something in business or being a teacher. Something about being a teacher or a coach has always been fun for me.
I know it's rapid fire, but I was interviewing a rugby player, and he doesn't. I mean, Zachary Striffler, and he wasn't sure what he wants to do, so he just started a podcast called "What Do You Do?" and just interviews friends that have jobs, and he just asks them about his jobs pretty much. But it's a good podcast. So here we go. Mini golf or real golf?
Real golf, always.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm a morning person.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any special talents? If so, what are they?
I'm really good at catching grapes in my mouth, like throwing from a distance. If someone were to like chuck it across the room, I'll like lay out and catch it.
Yeah, like a hibachi when they go. Yeah. So
exactly.
What's your least favorite food?
My least favorite food? Growing up, it was always zucchini. I'll pretty much eat anything now, but zucchini, something about the texture growing up, I did not like.
What's your favorite TV show?
Oh, favorite TV show? Like right now or of all time?
All time.
All time. I'm like destroying the rapid fire questions. I like the show called Psych. It used to be on the USA Network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In 3 words, describe yourself.
Oh, 3 words. Positive, competitive, and lifelong learner. It's a lot of words, but I'm going to combine that into one.
Hyphen, yeah. And lastly, if you could sit down and eat dinner with 3 people, who would they be?
Ooh. These are good rapid fire questions. Let me think quickly. I'd love to have dinner with Nelson Mandela. I think would be an amazing conversation. Let's go with my grandpa on my dad's side. He passed away before I was born, so unfortunately I was never able to meet him. I think that would be pretty cool to be able to pick his brain. And we'll go with Bill Murray. I think he's hilarious, so we've got to have some fun conversation. Or Will Ferrell, maybe. Some comedian.
Have you ever watched The Office?
Of course.
Yeah, Will Ferrell at the end when Michael left. I mean, that's funny. But the best is when he dresses up as a little Debbie and goes on one of those, I don't know, Kimmel or Fallon, one of those. If you look it up on YouTube, he dresses up.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Dresses up as that, like, that little Debbie. I feel like, I mean, I'm trying to think.
Like the snack pack.
Yeah. He dressed up as little Debbie and went on the, I think like Jimmy Kimmel or something.
Who would be your 3 people?
Oh man, well,
we'll turn around on
me
you.
On the spot. Probably Tom Brady, just because he's, I mean, a legend, a winner. I mean, everything. I'm like big into sports. It's like pretty much my whole life. So definitely I'd like to talk to a guy, even like Ian Book. I mean, Notre Dame, as you can see behind me. Big Notre Dame Fighting Irish football fan. And then probably Ronaldo, because, I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean, him and Messi both, like, I could say, maybe, I mean, throw them both. I just need those 2 at a dinner table together, and I'll just watch them talk. I won't even talk. I'll just sit there, kind of eat some pasta or something, watch those 2 talk.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is that it? Are those the rapid fire questions? Yeah. Or is there more?
That's it.
So, I got one question for you, if that's okay.
Fire away.
How did you get into this? What, like, this podcast, like, this is awesome, what you've been doing. Where did this idea come from, and how did you go about doing this? What's the passion behind this? Obviously, I mean, you've got a love for sports, which is great, but how did this all come about?
I mean, I'm a huge soccer player and just like sports in general, but really love sports. Like, I'd watch everything, and like maybe not school so much, but definitely sports, like Sports Center every morning. I mean, that's like, daily Sports Center. Maybe not as much anymore because it's not on as much anymore, but they got some new shows on. But yeah, I mean, I'd just watch it. My family would always like say, "Oh, he's a sports encyclopedia" or whatever, and then like I just like learning and like sharing stories and really talking to people, just like we are now. And it doesn't even have to be like you could be a musician, and I would just talk to you because about whatever. I'm just like because I'm passionate about sports. If somebody's passionate about music, we may not share the same passion, although I do love music, but we share being passionate about something. So that's what I really like, and I mean just hearing some crazy stories like I think Julius James was one of my earliest interviews. He played in the MLS, and very nice guy, and like the stuff he does, and like learning his stories about like being in the MLS in like '06 when it like 10 years old. I
Yeah.
mean that's just some crazy
Yeah.
stuff right there.
Yeah. That's incredible, man.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed.
thank you,
I love the idea behind it,
thank
and
you.
uh, keep following that passion. That's my only advice on that is follow
Yeah,
your passions, and those normally will lead you to some pretty good things.
thank you. And I mean, doing the best with Bootbags. You're doing just a tremendous job there. I mean, everything like going to Jamaica and stuff. It's just I mean, just great for I mean, the community just really coming together and then being like a leader and taking action. That's just great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and all the best with Phoenix. I'll be watching on this TV right up here. I'll be turning on the PlayStation, going to ESPN Plus, watching some USL when it comes back. So best of luck with everything, and all the best, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on, and
Yep.
looking forward to seeing some more of your interviews. These are
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you, everybody. So everybody, Chris Daly, joined here by Jordan Schweitzer.